So one thing that people who are current fans of mine might not know is that I used to be very popular on a website called Tumblr all the way back in 2012 to about 2014. I had roughly 150,000 followers, and I had gotten really big for my debate content, essentially. Basically, I spent a good portion of each of my days when I wasn't at my job responding to people on Tumblr, arguing, getting into debates, or whatever the fuck may be, and just generally being an obnoxious person. And I'm not like mincing words here. I was an obnoxious person. Everything had to be an argument. I had to be right about everything. And even though I was right about most things, it still didn't mean that I had to get in freaking the most inane arguments ever. Nowadays, I try to pick my topics a little bit more carefully. I try to only really argue or get mad over things that I think are genuinely important. And when it comes to like differences of opinion, like genuine differences of opinion on things like media or media analysis or things like that, I try to take it a little bit more slowly, and I try to make my talking points a little bit more of discussions rather than debates. I bring this up because I have a lot of experience with debating online, and as I've grown older, as I've gone more and more and more left than I used to be, I've started to recognize that online debate is pretty much useless. It's one of the most useless things in the entire world. It serves absolutely no purpose, and all it ever does is frustrate the person who's correct and make the person who's stupid just continue to be stupid. Like, the online debate has never changed anybody's mind, not that I know of. I know what has changed people's minds is people giving their opinion on things, right? I have heard a lot of tales of people who used to be like red-pilled, incelled weirdos who have watched content where they were kind of like deprogrammed from it and it's being like, look, dude, here's the actual statistics, here's the actual reality of things, here's actually what's happening, and people have changed their minds. And I've even had people tell me that about my content, where they used to be on the right and then they watched what I had to say and now they're on the left because they realized that what I was saying made sense. I've even changed people's minds in real life. I have one of my old coworkers, he thought that Trump was like better than Kamala, and he thought that fucking Charlie Kirk was like this super god of debate. And then I was like, no, bro, here's all the proof that they're fucking idiots. And now he's like a centrist, which, you know, is not perfect, but it's better than it was. And so that's generally, I'm not saying that you can't ever change people's minds, but when you get into these whole debate things like Destiny or Vosh or even Hassan Piker to an extent, does Hassan do debates? I don't think he does. Dean Withers, like all of this, like all these debating with right-wing people is just pointless. It's useless. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's not going to change their mind. And at the end of the day, all you really get out of it is content. But there's a deeper reason why I don't debate conservative / MAGA people. And that's because it does nothing but cause me headaches. Earlier today, I posted a TikTok, YouTube short, Instagram reel. It was all the same video. I just posted it to all my social media accounts where I was talking about the fact that while the government is shut down, Trump is currently in the process of knocking down the east wing of the White House to build a $200 million ballroom. Now, the reality of the situation is he's using taxpayer dollars to do this, but somehow, some way, he has managed to convince his MAGA cult followers that it's his own money. Now, what I should have did, because I didn't plan on making this video, is I should have screenshotted all of these comments so that I could prove a point, because I instantly block conservative and MAGA people every time. I do it every time. I just instantly block them because, as I said, I don't debate them, and it's not worth even trying to entertain a conversation with them because none of them argue in good faith and none of them exist in reality. But all of these comments were conflicting with each other. Some people were saying that he was getting the 200 million from billionaire donors. Some people were saying that he was getting the 200 million from his own personal bank account. One very interesting person that I did manage to get a screenshot of said that he was getting it from his settlement money, the settlement that the taxpayers are paying for. So it's still taxpayer money. Like, the reality of the situation is that he is using taxpayer money. Like, let's not fucking mince words here. I don't care what you guys think he's doing. The person who consistently has provably lied and made shit up and can't even form a coherent sentence is not spending his own money on building this. He's also not getting it from donors. Don't be fucking fooled. He is taking it right out of the taxpayer pockets. And if you're wondering what settlement could Trump possibly be getting money from, he is suing his own administration for $230 million for, I think it's emotional distress or something. Basically, he's suing the government because he thinks he shouldn't have been convicted of 34 felonies. He's trying to sue for $230 million because he committed 34 count felony and got convicted of it, and now he's mad. He's upsetty spaghetti. But the thing is he didn't even wait to see if that money was going to come to him before he started building that ballroom. So guess where that money's coming from? So that's just like a small example, right? The MAGA conservative crowd does not live in reality. No matter how many times you prove them wrong, no matter how many statistics you show them, no matter how many times you show them words out of Trump's own mouth, no matter how many videos, no matter how many photos, no matter what you show them, they will continue to follow Trump. And it is so bad that they, even while bad things are happening to them, will tell you they don't regret voting for Trump. I saw on TikTok a woman that was in literal tears crying on TikTok because her husband might be getting deported back to Venezuela, even though he is an American citizen. He's an American through both a green card and through marrying her. He went and he did his due diligence and he did his due process and he became a legal American citizen, and he still might be getting deported. ICE came and arrested him and took him away from her and her daughter, and she says that it's not fair. But she says she doesn't regret voting for Trump when Trump is the one fucking doing it. What did she think mass deportation means? And I've seen a lot of people respond to her. I personally didn't make a video on it because I couldn't get a hold of the original video. Most people like screen recorded it and then like splashed in, you know, how they do on TikTok. But I couldn't find the original video or even the original creator's name. So I ended up not making a video on it. Plus, I think it's kind of unnecessarily cruel to like directly, you know, point out to this woman like, hey, you're kind of being a fucking dumbass. But the point is that while she is being affected by Trump's policies, while she might lose her husband and her daughter might lose her father because of these policies, she still doesn't regret her vote. Trump supporters are so much in denial that when you point out something Trump is actually doing, like sending secret police to arrest American citizens off the street, just kidnapped him off the street. When you point out how he built an entire internment camp and then gave it a cute name like Alligator Alcatraz to distract from the fact that it's an internment camp. When you point out how he's consistently been proven to have robbed you blind over and over again, they'll call it Trump derangement syndrome. They call reality derangement. So you can't argue with conservative and MAGA voters. You just can't. I once heard a quote long time ago. I don't know who it's attributed to, but the quote goes as such: winning an argument with a smart person is very difficult. Winning an argument with a stupid person is impossible. And the reason is because stupid people don't know they're stupid. Stupid people don't use reality to argue. So when you're trying to win a debate, when you're trying to win an argument against these people, if they don't live in reality, then you can't do that. If you can't show them real world examples of why they're wrong, because they don't care about the real world. They care about what they feel the world is really like. That's how you get fucking people trying to pass legislation against drag queens reading to children, because they've all convinced themselves that drag queens are some perverted thing and that the readings are actually like stripper show. I saw a comment on Reddit one day where this dude was like, I don't think drag queens should be reading to children, just like I don't think strippers should be reading to children. Like drag show readings are not drag queens showing up in fucking lingerie and coming down to like the fucking thongs to read to your kids. That's not what it is. But they've convinced themselves that's what it is. They've convinced themselves that that's what it is. And so no matter how many times you show them what an actual drag show reading looks like, no matter how many times you show the statistics that it's actually like the church is like 100 times more dangerous to their kids than drag queens are, they don't care. They do not care, because in their minds, they've already built this reality where someone who's different than them, something that they find weird, is bad for their kids. It's bad for their children. And so they're going to stick to that no matter what you tell them. I'll give you another great example. On my video with the leaked Nazi chats from the youth Republicans that I made like 4 videos ago, somebody left a comment on there where he's like, how are you going to call these people Nazis when you look like a Nazi? You look like the leader of a Aryan Brotherhood with your bald ass. Yeah, because that's a fucking counter argument. Yeah, the people who said that we should gas people who vote no against them and they love Hitler, those aren't the Nazis, but you're a Nazi because bald. Like, come on, dude. This is not the kind of people you can take seriously. And so I've gotten requests to like respond to like a certain comment or like go and talk. I've had people that in the past, not necessarily recently, but in the past, I've had people that are like, wow, man, you should debate, you know, back before his neck got opened like a can. You should debate Charlie Kirk. You should debate Jordan Peterson. You should debate Pierce Morgan, like all these other people. And it's like, I don't want to, because I don't feel like listening to someone deny reality for 45 minutes, an hour and a half, 10 seconds. I just don't. I don't feel like it. And I block all of these people instantly because they're literally not worth the mental strain. They're not worth the mental headache to sit there and watch them completely deny reality over and over and over again. It's not worth it. Their arguments are poor. Like, some people were like, why are you mad at Trump putting up a ballroom? There's been presidents in the past that have remodeled the White House. And yeah, there have been, but these presidents didn't do it in the middle of a government shutdown and using taxpayer dollars during that government shutdown while they're telling people that they're going to starve next month. I mean, there were even comments on my YouTube short of people being like, well, if the Democrats would just release it, like they still think that the Democrats are at fault while the Republicans hold the majority power in all 3 branches of government. They still think that the Democrats are the reason they're not getting food stamps. They're so stupid that they won't even read the budget bill that the Democrats are proposing, which has nothing to do with giving illegal immigrants health care. It has nothing to do with it. But they still think it does because the Republicans told them that it does. They won't even read the bill that they supposedly think the Democrats are holding up the government for. That is the caliber of people that you talk to when they are MAGA and conservative. That is the caliber. These people do not read. They can't read. Like, statistically, like, what is it? Like 62%, I think, of Americans, something like that. Like, it's like above half of Americans are below a 6th grade reading level. These people can't read. They have no reading comprehension. And they just believe whatever the Republicans tell them. They don't look into anything. And so it's not worth it. Right? It's not worth it to debate these people. It's not worth it to go back and forth in comment sections with them. It's not worth it to give them the time of day. If they respond to you, if they make a comment and they're saying some dumb shit, block them. They think it's a win, but of course they do. They think it's a win in the same way that everybody on the fucking playground got tired of them smearing shit on the football whenever he would go to throw it and left, and they think that they win because of that. They think it's a win for the same reason that they were the kids that would jump up and turn the game console off when they were losing in GoldenEye. They think being blocked is a win because they think that the only reason to block someone is because you can't counter argue them. When in reality, I block people because they're annoying. You're annoying. I don't know. I feel like there's way too many debate content out there. I think that it's important to make content calling out politicians. It's important to make content talking about why we should have things like, you know, universal health care and maybe even universal basic income. I'm still on the fence about UBI, but we definitely need health care. We definitely need fucking healthcare. There's ways you should make content discussing how things can benefit us as human beings, but don't engage in debate with these people. Like, I remember pre 2016 when I used to argue with people all the time online, and I was just baffled. I was baffled at how people could constantly argue against their best interests. Like, I was baffled at how people could constantly say that they don't want the ability to go to the hospital without becoming bankrupt for the rest of their fucking lives, or the fact that there were people out there that didn't want like regulations so that landlords couldn't charge you fucking $2,300 a month for a fucking 1-bedroom half bath with a fucking hole in the west wall, and then keep increasing the price for literally no reason. Like, they didn't want regulations on that kind of shit. Like, I couldn't believe it, and I thought it could never get worse. And then Trump got elected, and it got worse. It got so much worse. It got so worse to the point that people who are currently being negatively affected by his policies are still voting for him. I worked at H&R Block at the beginning of this year. The number of people who would come in with MAGA hats, and one dude pulled up with fucking Trump decals all over his fucking car. Like, he went out and got a wrap for his car, a red wrap, and then he had Trump's face plastered all over his car. They worship this dude. And then he walked into the fucking H&R Block and complained about the taxes. Complained about tax policies. Trump's tax policies. Like, I fucking can't. I can't argue with these people. You can't argue with these people. It is impossible to argue with people who are this stupid, right? I want you to imagine for a moment, right? Like let me put it to you this way. Imagine if there was a guy named Ronnie, and Ronnie, for the entire time he's been in the public eye, has been known for burning down houses, kicking puppies downstairs, and stealing candy from children. And you want Ronnie in jail, right? Most people would want him in jail because that's a fucking menace to society. But there's a group of people who not only want Ronnie out of jail, but they want Ronnie in your neighborhood. And so Ronnie gets to come to your neighborhood because they wanted it. And then Ronnie starts lighting their houses on fire, starts kicking their puppies downstairs, starts stealing candy from their children, and they all go, "You have Ronnie derangement syndrome, okay? Bobby is the problem." And Bobby's just over here minding his own fucking business. Like, these are people who are still talking about Obama. Three fucking elections later, 3 fucking elections after Obama was in office, they're still bringing this man up. They're still talking about him. I follow a guy on TikTok who watches all of Donald Trump's speeches. Since July, Donald Trump has name-dropped Biden 50 times for no reason. No fucking reason. And every time he does, his supporters go, "Yeah, yeah, fuck Biden, yeah." Every time. Every fucking time. Trump will get on stage and say shit like, "We're gonna drop the medicine prices by 500%. And they'll go, "Yeah, yeah." What does that even mean? By 500%? So what, we're gonna start getting paid to get our medication? Are you fucking stupid? RFK Jr. got on national television and said, "We don't have the proof that Tylenol causes autism, but we're getting studies to get the proof." Literally admitted to wanting to fabricate evidence to something that's not real. And what do the supporters do? Why would I argue with these people? Why would I ever take the time to argue with these people? Why would I ever do anything but block the people who support this dumbassery? Why would I ever take time out of my day to argue with these people? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it's something I wish a lot more people on the internet would learn. Give your opinions, give your think pieces, give your talking points. But when you come across MAGA people, when you come across conservatives, don't bother. Because they're stupid. They do not live in reality. They do not care about facts. They don't care about what's been done. They don't care about statistics. They don't care about the videos. They don't care about the fucking literal written out bills that are being put in front of them. They don't care about reality. They are living in their own little stupid world where Trump is this perfect paragon of presidency, where somehow him and his entire unqualified administration is going to save them while they are actively getting fucked in the ass. I could not imagine being told that I'm about to get the best head of my life and then while I'm being fucked in the ass by that person go, wow, this head feels really good. I'm glad I signed up to get some head.